name is Lindsay Evans, and welcome back to another Keepsake Cafe. We are once again in downtown Kansas City at Hallmark headquarters, and this is going to be our last Keepsake Cafe for a while. I hope that you all have been enjoying them. It's been so much fun to be a part of, and I hope you've learned a lot from a lot of our newer artists in the studio. And I'm so excited today because I'm here with Jaye Wiley, and he just happens to be right here.
Just happen to be right here.
You just happen to be, and I see that you have your tea already.
I do.
You're a tea drinker. I am too. This is an iced chai today because it's pretty hot out there. And you're brave.
Yeah,
you're brave for drinking
also,
hot tea.
And this late in the morning. Too,
yes,
so.
yes, that's true. Well, thank you for being here with us today, and all of you at home, thank you for watching with us. I know I have some questions from all of you later that we'll get to, but first, I have my own questions for you, Jaye. So I know that everybody at home may not know who you are yet, Jaye Wiley, and you've been at Hallmark quite a while. So
over 30 years.
Okay, 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, a long time at Hallmark.
Yeah.
And you've done all sorts of different things at Hallmark. So before we get to your Hallmark experience, maybe tell us a little bit about you. Like, where are you from?
Sure, I'm Kansas City born and bred.
Love it.
Up here.
Love it.
Just outside of Kansas City, and went to school here. Went to the Kansas City Art Institute.
You did.
Spent a lot of Saturday mornings at the Nelson. They used to have classes for art classes for kids. So every Saturday morning was up there doing that, and then Art Institute's right there. So it was kind of a natural progression. I already kind of knew some of the instructors and stuff, so breezed right into that, and then actually got an internship here in Hallmark my last semester at the Art Institute. Graduated in May, started working in June. I'm here ever since.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you have this connection with the Nelson too, because it's such a great Kansas City, this beautiful museum. I used to go a lot as a kid as well, and so I think anybody who grew up here in Kansas City knows it so well.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of a natural fit then for you to go from there to the Kansas City Art Institute and then at Hallmark.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I've just, been drawing pretty much my
Your whole life.
Yeah. And then 1977, I'm 7 years old, went and saw Star Wars for the first time, and that's all it took.
Changed your life, right?
Yeah. And then I think about that same weekend, I went to a bookstore and I had a book on the art of Star Wars by Ralph McQuarrie. It was all behind the scenes drawings and stuff, and I went, I can do this for a living? I can actually just draw cool stuff and get a job doing it. So
somebody will pay me to do something
pay me
I
to
love.
do it. Exactly. So it's been Star Wars and comic books and Disney movies and Saturday morning cartoons and ever since. So.
I love that. Well, and so tell me a little bit then about when you started at Hallmark. So you were an intern.
Yep. And
then you got a full-time job at Hallmark. So where did you start in Hallmark?
So I started basically because, like I said, my love of all things sort of licensed and geeky.
Yep.
I started in licensing.
Okay.
So that was a department that handled basically anything that was a property that we paid a royalty.
Yeah.
Disney, Marvel, all that kind of stuff.
All of those.
Peanuts, all that stuff. And so I started there in licensing, and that was a great opportunity because, for instance, I got to meet like Charles Schultz and stuff like that. So get to meet some of the people who actually created a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
And worked there 15-ish years. And the great part about working in that department is we got to touch all these different products that Hallmark did. Everything from cards, to puzzles, to books, to even drawing ornaments and stuff. Help design them.
Even before you were in the ornament business, you were also always helping with ornaments because you were a part of licensing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I went to Party for about 10 years. I was an art director there.
Yeah.
And then went back to cards, and then got an opportunity about a year ago to come work in ornaments. So.
Well, we're super excited to have you.
Big full circle.
No kidding, no kidding. You kind of started out in licensing, sketching ornaments and things, and now, look at you now.
Yeah.
You're back.
And it's learned to sculpt, and it's something that I did a little bit of it back in art school, and kind of messed with it here and there, and so it's always been something that I kind of wanted to get into and just sort of master. So it's sort of my last sort of great frontier, last thing to do at Hallmark.
Sure.
Sort of master.
So are you? What kind of sculpting have you been doing? Digital or like
digital,
physical with wax? Okay, digital.
Yeah. So that's been a whole. I mean, I've been digital most of my career at Hallmark. Photoshop came out the year I graduated from college. So I even had a painting teacher that came in the last day of school and threw down his paints and said, "Get rid of all this. You don't need it anymore."
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's this thing called Photoshop. Start working
it's
on
gonna
a
be
computer.
big, I
it's
tell
gonna
you.
be big. So yeah, so I've been mostly digital at Hallmark the entire time I've been here, and so it was a natural progression to work on it. And since I work mostly at home, it's easier to just rather than having to have a studio where I'm working in wax or clay or whatever. I can just work at home. So and it's been great. I've got a mentor and Emma, which turned out to be really great because she's.
So Emma Liturgis Smith has been mentoring you on your digital sculpting.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's so fun. She is such an amazing artist in the Keepsake studio. And I love that she's giving you some pointers because you work mostly in Hallmark ornaments currently.
Yes.
You do a few things in Keepsakes, but
Yeah, so that was, and it's been great because she's one of the artists I follow with Keepsakes. I actually get her birds.
Really?
Birds.
The Beauty of Birds series.
Yes. So,
I love that.
Yeah, it just happened to be that was kind of cool.
I love that. I love that. Well, and I think a little birdie, speaking of birds, a little birdie told me that you also met your wife at Hallmark or because of Hallmark. Tell me about the story.
I don't think the time of the birds because I'm Jay.
Okay.
She's Robin.
I love it.
See the birds?
I love it. Yeah. I see the connection.
Yeah, so no, we were, our department was always kind of not in the main building, sort of outposted. And so we were kind of a tight little group, and one of the groups were with Shoebox, and I was friends with one of the Shoebox artists who invited me over for a Memorial Day party. Yes. And there was a girl there that I ended up meeting, and so that's who I'm married to now for almost 30 years. So
I love that.
So Hallmark, in a way, was responsible for us meeting. Yeah.
It's kind of all kismet, right?
Yeah.
You're a Kansas City boy, grew up here, ended up going to college here, ended up at Hallmark, and found the love of your life too.
Yes.
I love that.
So shout out to John Smith.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John, for helping him find the love of his life. That's so great. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, you work mostly in Hallmark ornaments.
Yes.
So tell us what does a typical day look like in Hallmark ornaments for you?
Well, we're kind of a small group, but get up in the morning, go for a 4-mile walk with my wife, go over to the computer, check in, see what's new. We always have a team meeting, so we can all just kind of see where we are, talk to everybody, see what's going on. Sometimes you have your camera on, sometimes you don't. And then it's really just, a typical day. Hopefully I usually start my morning trying to get caught up on where everything is sort of along the line because we design things and then they're sort of in production and then you're kind of catching up a little way. But it'll usually be, I've got, a list of possible ornaments we're going to be doing, and then it's get out the old-fashioned sketchbook and I'll start sketching out kind of what I think it's going to look like, get it to where I like, and then get my art directors on the line and we'll look at them, talk about it, figure out color-wise and everything, and then I'll go more into a final sort of look for it, and then it just kind of goes from there. And then it starts
I love that you start kind of on paper with the sketch, pencil or pen or whatever it is that you use before going to the digital sculpting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just I don't know if it's because it's old school, but there's a tangible thing about drawing something out and feeling that scratch on the paper and stuff. And there are actually studies that show that if you do things with your hands, it helps you retain it better, keeps your brain firing a little bit better. So I always feel like I'm more creative. I have, I can draw on my computer with a pen and stuff, but there's something about that little tactile sensation of the pencil on the paper that still wakes me up.
Feels a little bit more artsy,
it feels more real. And plus, at the end of it, I've got this sketchbook. I can look back and go, hey, I did this, and you can go back to it and see maybe I already tried that idea, it didn't work, that kind of thing, just to see some of the ideas you've come up with over the years.
I love that. I love that.
So tell us also, do you have any ornaments that you're excited about that are going to be out this year, either in Hallmark Ornaments or in Keepsakes as well?
I could do both. Keepsakes, one that I'm going to be buying is the Snorri Santa, because it's
my favorite ornament for this year. I love that one.
So I got to be getting that one, and then I'm a big Chiefs fan, so I'll have to get the Travis Kelce one.
Of course. Kansas City guy.
And then anything that's, and we talked about, I'll probably be getting all the birds. But there's a great hummingbird, because we have hummingbirds at home, so that's great. And I have to have all of the Star Wars or any of the comic book ones, so any of those are out there. Some mini ornaments for the Bad Batch that I really want to get, so that's one of my favorite Star Wars thing that's out right now.
I love that. You've got a lot of stuff that you're going to have to get into the store next month to get, right?
Yeah, and then the stuff that I've actually designed, I've got a Funko Wolverine, so it's a Funko Pop character.
There's that new movie coming out.
Exactly.
It's going to be fun.
And I did a Deadpool too, so I'm going to do a Deadpool. And then there's a great little non-license. It's just a little red car with some packages on top that I just drew from right out of the sketchbook, right into it. So that was one where I actually got to draw it. So it was pretty cool.
That's so fun.
So I'm very excited about that.
Lots of good stuff coming out for you this year then that we can, everybody at home who's watching, keep an eye out for those things too. That'll be fun. So I also always like to ask, because I think that people who are artists at Hallmark or designers for Hallmark, they always have such interesting hobbies outside of work, or things that they do that, kind of keep them going creatively outside of work. So tell us what you like to do just kind of in your spare time.
So one of the reasons I wanted to sculpt is because my entire life I've been collecting and playing with painting, playing with toy soldiers. So I've always wanted to sculpt my own. So that's, that was something that I wanted to learn to do, but I have thousands
Really?
Yes, and so I collect them, like I'll pick a certain army and then I'll paint them up, and then we actually have a giant table in my basement. Most people would have a pool table. I have a big battle table, and we set them up and you roll dice and
have a war.
Have a war, basically.
You sound like, have you ever done this with Tom Best? Because he also has a basement full of, I don't know if he'd want me giving that away, sorry Tom, but he's got a basement just like you do, it sounds like.
He does, but he doesn't play with his.
He just sets them up.
His are set up, and it's like a museum. It's beautiful, I understand it. I put my stuff on display, but I like to actually get mine in there and see what they can do. Sort of thing, but yeah, we have conventions. In fact, we've got one next month that I'm getting ready for.
That's so fun.
So yeah, everything. So I've just got boxes and boxes. And stuff.
Well, and I love that you were so interested in that, and then it kind of almost informed, like, hey, I want to learn sculpting because I'm doing this on the side and it's really cool. I could do this for my job.
Yeah, this is really expensive. I could.
It's an expensive.
I can make my own. Yeah. So no, it's just. I always wanted to learn the process, and so, like I said, it's just one more kind of tool in the toolkit to be able to do all these things. So.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love that. See, this is why I always ask that question, because it's always something very interesting, no matter who the artist is. I love that. Well, I also wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite holiday traditions, either that you had when you were a kid or now you and your wife might do together?
Well, ours, I think, our tradition is to be sort of untraditional. So,
I love that.
We don't watch any of the classic ones that a lot of people watch, like Wonderful Life or Peanuts Special or Home Alone. We don't watch any of that stuff. We kind of watch these sort of weirdo outline, Christmas things, like people that will talk about. Bruce Willis in
Die Hard.
Die Hard is technically
a Christmas movie.
That kind of stuff. We do that, and then things have changed since my kids are older, but it's still everyone still comes over and spends the night, the night before, and we set up. Usually the Christmas tree is usually the weekend after Thanksgiving, and it's all hands on deck. It's we've got it down to where we can get it all set up in like 3 hours. And our Christmas tree is every branch has an ornament on it.
At least one, probably.
At least
right?
one. And so now we're at a point where if we get a new one, we have to like retire one. So we're like, sorry, son, that thing you made out of popsicle sticks and glitter back in 2nd grade is finally getting retired, so we can put Travis on the tree right now. So, and they're cool about it. And now that our kids are moving out, we're taking portions of, letting them pick their favorites that they have memories of, and that'll be
so
their
they can start their own traditions at home.
Yes, and then I have a little tree that's down in the nerd cave. It's just all the little, Star Wars and Marvel PC characters and things.
A little themed tree.
Sure.
That's
and
so fun.
We're talking about getting one that's just for the ornaments that I've been working on.
Of course, you're going to have to now.
So.
Well, I also have some questions from all of you at home, so let's see what we've got here. Sherry D, thanks for sending in a question, Sherry. She wants to know your most memorable Christmas. Oh, and your favorite holiday tradition. So we talked about the tradition a little bit already, but what's your most memorable Christmas? That's a fun question.
Wow. I think probably I would have been 8 or 9. And that was like the best toy Christmas of all time. It was like 78, 79, you're getting like some of the best
Star Wars toys.
Best kind of stuff. G.I. Joe's back when he was huge. All that kind of stuff. It was kind of, my parents had been divorced most of my life, so that was, I remember that one specifically because my dad was there in the morning, so it was kind of a cool thing to sort of, the whole family, plus the children and stuff. And it was one of the few, a lot of times we would go out of town for Christmas to my grandparents in Tucson. So all my buddies are all getting snow and trying to do sleds and stuff. I'm like back in sunny
in the
Tucson.
desert.
Yeah. So that was one of the few ones where we were back at home too. So
that's fun.
That's probably one of my favorite ones.
I love that. Thanks for that question, Sherry. That's a good one. This one is from Yvette. You like tea. You do like tea. I saw that. You said that in your video. What is your favorite tea? And will you maybe have a tea-inspired ornament? I love that idea, Yvette.
I do too. It just depends on the time of the day. So like morning, I gotta do like an English breakfast or
of course, Earl Grey, something like that.
Earl Grey is more of an afternoon kind of. And then usually at night, it's like a chai or something that doesn't have caffeine.
Sure.
I could definitely see like an ornament where maybe we did a cup that sort of matched it. So if it was like an English breakfast, maybe it has a little bit of, an English flair to it, or maybe
the chai hanging out of the side.
The chai one that's maybe sort of Indian art inspired, or something like that.
I love that. That could be a series.
That could be a series.
We'll have to keep that in mind. A little tea series.
We'll do green tea one. It's got like a jade cup or something.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay, this one is from Molly B. Your fave pop culture that you've worked on?
Oh, God, that's hard.
I would expect you to say Star Wars. Because you love Star Wars so much. But is there something else that's unexpected, maybe?
Yes, I got to do 2 Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm doing a 20-sided die, and I'm doing a mimic, which is a creature that can look like other things that pops out. So that's D&D's close to my heart, and I've been playing since I was about 13. So, same crew.
Really?
So, eat your heart out, Stranger Things.
I was going to say, I feel like it's making a comeback now with the younger generation because of Stranger Things. Now, my kids know about it now because of Stranger Things.
So probably those 2 are cool. Because when they first started they said, what would you really like to work on? And I was like, anything with like a dragon?
Oh, yeah. Game of Thrones, any of that stuff. I love that. That's fun. Okay, Joyce. Thanks for sending in a question, Joyce. Do you collect any series? And how many trees do you have in your home?
Probably the only series that we do is the Beautiful Birds.
Yeah.
And
that started with Edith years ago. So do you have
Do
you have the whole series?
I have like some of the original stuff too. So, and they always are at the kind of top.
Sure. And now Emma has taken it over, and then she just happens to be your mentor too.
So
I love that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I love that.
So those are probably otherwise we really just sort of collect something that's sort of meaningful to
Sure,
us.
things that you like.
And there's a ton of superheroes and stuff on there, but usually because we went to go see that movie together as a family or something like
there's
that.
There's some memory attached to it.
Yeah, there's something attached to it. So, and right now like I said, we have the one tree that's going to slowly get pieces pulled off to give to our kids, and then I have a small one downstairs for my little nerd type things.
But now you said you're going to have to get a tree.
We have to get a new one.
It's going to be a Jaye Wiley tree.
Yes, just my stuff and all the different things. And that's the other thing is I get to, I mean, it's not just Star Wars and stuff and Disney that I get to work on.
Sure.
I get to work on a little bit of everything. So I've got, like this year, there's just a ton of completely different things that I get to do a variety of things, which is pretty fun.
That's
so,
fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's never the same day. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, this next one is from Sharon B. Thanks for sending in a question, Sharon. What are you working on right now? So without giving away too much, what are you working on right now?
So two big things right now. I'm working on the next round of storied moments.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, the box looks like either a book or an old school VHS or something like that. And when you look at it, it looks like you're looking at a scene from the book.
Sure.
And it opens up and it even has that sort of tactile thing to it. And the ornaments sit inside of it. So
I think those are so cool. There's so much storytelling with the packaging and the ornament itself. They're so fun.
So I'm working on. I got that handed off to me, so I've taken over that, and there's 3 that I'm working on right now. And then we started a new type of ornament that's going to be really cool that incorporates a 3-dimensional element and like a lenticular in the background, so the character is sitting within a scene that has like 3 dimensions to it. So it's not one of those that moves, but if you've ever seen one of those, it looks like there's
looks dimensional this way.
So there's things in the foreground and background.
Sure.
You know.
Oh, that'll be really cool.
So we're in, those are the 2 big ones that I'm kind of working on right now.
That's fun.
And
we can't wait. We'll have to wait probably a year to see those.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit longer. But yeah.
So
those will be fun. Those will be fun. Okay, I have one more question.
Okay.
This one is from Dwayne. What is your most satisfying ornament experience? What an interesting question, Dwayne. Satisfying ornament experience. You've only been in ornaments for a year, but you did sketch and things earlier.
Yes. Yeah, I think I said I did I don't know why, it was just it's a simple little holiday card, but it was one that they gave me sort of a vague idea of what to do, and it was just sort of a natural thing of how it came out. And then that transitioned to a really great sculpt, and when I saw the final product, it was just exactly what was in my head. So, because a lot of times you'll do something either because of the manufacturing process or because of just getting it to work right within the package or something. It doesn't.
It's got to shift a little.
It's got to shift a little. And this one was pretty much straight from my brain to hanging on the tree. And
that's so cool.
It felt really good.
Yeah. Well, when you have something in your head and then you get to hold this teeny little thing, it's like I did this.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. I still remember like the first card I ever did.
Yes.
As an intern, and then being able to walk into the store and actually see it on the shelf. And I'll never beat that.
Oh,
but,
sure.
I'm sure when I go in and look at something hanging on the tree that I did, it'll probably be pretty darn close to that.
That's so fun. Well, and when some of these folks watching at home come talk to you and tell you that thing you worked on, it hangs on my tree every year.
Yeah,
that'll be another one for you.
That's pretty cool.
Well, thank you, Jay, so much for being here with me today.
Yeah.
It was so much fun chatting with you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of you watching. Like I said earlier, this is going to be our last Keepsake Cafe for a while, but we do have another live coming up next month in July where we will be celebrating Ornament Premiere. I know all of you are excited about that. And July 11th is when we're going to be having our live to have a few of my artist friends tell you what they're excited about for Premiere. And then, as all of you know, July 12th, if you're a member of the Keepsake Ornament Club, you get to shop early. So don't forget to do that. And then Ornament Premiere starts July 13th. So we will see you all next month. Thanks for being here with us.